and welcome back to another episode of the Finn and G podcast, the home of dysfunctional rugby league. Might I add, it's quite eyes up dysfunctionality. To my left is
G.
And to the right is me. I was going to introduce her as the ever graceful, the champ, El Champion.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a good reign.
I won last year too.
But that doesn't count. So I was just thinking, I was on top for 11 rounds this year. Your streak is at 6. So good, not great.
I've overtaken when it matters. No one cares if you're leading at the front of the competition.
And we will clip that up when I retake the lead at the end, which we've all known is going to happen. Now, look, recapping this week, five apiece. So what really matters there is that I'm back on track.
To stay 4 behind me.
Yes. Unfortunately, as I said, it was 5 each. But I haven't gone 5 for 5
in a hot minute.
Shit. You know how happy I was?
Yeah, no, but you ended the week terribly.
See, that was a problem. We really needed to do this episode like Saturday night because I was 5 for 5. I got a bet. I turned $2 into 51, and Bradman had to score. It was on the Knights game, which got me one above Georgia because she doesn't understand football. And went the Eels.
You went the Tigers.
I've never seen the Knights lose at home, and that's a fact. I say that all the time on here. And I had to wait for that bet for Bradman to score. Literally, remember, he was disallowed or something?
Disallowed.
And it was like to the last
and you were
10
like,
minutes.
that's it.
That was it. I was pissed off. Eels scored. They were up, 10 to go. He ends up scoring at the double. No worries there. 2 into 51. Thanks for coming. I was on top of the world. Then Sunday happened.
0 for 3.
And then it was just back to, I don't want to do this. I don't care. And I know I shouldn't really matter. And on one hand it doesn't. And then, you know what I tell myself? I tell myself that I'm playing a character. That I'm maybe I'm spicing it up. Because if I was just oh, you're winning. Well done. That was a delayed reaction. I figured that maybe that's boring. But, and you're familiar with wrestling, I've worked myself into a shoot. I have worked myself into a shoot.
Okay.
Do you know what that means?
No, I don't watch wrestling.
Have a guess.
Are you?
What do you think working into a shoot means?
I don't know, and I preferably don't care, and it has nothing to do with rugby league.
It actually has everything. So,
It was so good until you mentioned the shoot part.
What do you think of working to a shoot means?
I don't know. This is what I told you. I don't like being put on the spot. I don't know what words mean, Finton. I told you that. I do not know what words mean.
But see, now I'm very self-conscious. Sorry to the listener. I feel very self-conscious now about over-describing things and over-analysing things. So now I don't want to say what working to a shoot means, which is why I went to you and said, what do you think it means? Because then if you described it and was off, then I could say what it means. But I don't want to just say what it means in case other people are thinking you go, hey, shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Well, then just don't say it.
I've worked myself into a shoot. Now, anyway, look, the real upset of that round, because as you mentioned, yes, I went the Tigers. Now, again, who cares? Did I get upset and frustrated watching that?
You didn't talk to me for 2 hours.
But I also said on here, most likely they were going to lose 40-0. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
So am I shocked at all by the result? No,
No.
I predicted it. Did I still get frustrated and upset watching it?
Yeah.
No comment. Now, Cowboys Panthers. I also said Cowboys would win.
But you didn't change the tip.
So that one basically.
That's on you.
Well, that pretty much means I got it right.
That's on you, though.
But the Dragons and the Finns, I didn't see that coming.
I didn't see that coming.
That's hand on heart. I mean, it's the age-old adage, Dragons at win-win, Dragons at Cogra lose. What we failed to mention is that Dragons at Cogra lose unless it is post-origin against the Dolphins side, who's currently a top 4 side in wet weather.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Missing Zach Lomas.
Okay.
So, sorry. And we don't score a single try in the first half.
Is that it?
Yes.
Yes.
So that's on us for probably missing that one.
Yeah.
But look, I'm feeling confident. That's
That's
all I'll
good.
say. And actually, I'm going 8 for 8 this week.
That's brave.
So it's pretty cool to see. But anyway, look, the key point of this week, of course. Now, it feels a little funny doing a week late because on one hand, the emotion is gone. On the other hand, it actually hasn't. And that's Origin 2. You could argue after a week, I'm more intense about it than ever.
Really? I haven't thought about it once.
No. Well, look, to catch people up to speed, because I'm sure you haven't thought about it or heard about it this week. You've been waiting for us, which is very graceful of you. The New South Wales power game is too much. They eventually win 38-18.
Team.
Now,
They actually used it properly this time.
yeah, they actually looked at the team on paper and went, "Hey, let's
Use our strengths.
Let's do what we should be doing."
Let's not play to Queensland strengths,
Yeah,
even though they're not our strengths. Let's actually play like a New South Wales team,
and you've been a big
not
advocate.
a wannabe Queensland team.
Exactly, like let's actually have our own identity.
Identity. So that was good to see.
You know, because honestly, New South Wales for the last probably 20 years have had a real bad case of Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Don't ask me what it means.
Do you know what I mean?
But I don't have to. Everyone listening does. So
but I
just
know,
skip
but-
over it. Just
Peek
skip.
behind the curtains, you do have a habit of agreeing with things, and then in reality, you have no idea what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but it comes off as confidence. So just keep going. I know what Stockholm Syndrome means. If you don't, look it up. Keep moving.
Now I don't know if you do or not.
I do. Just keep moving along.
Okay. So she knows what that means, and I'm sure you do too. But look, yeah. You've been a big advocate of this, and you've really actually drilled this home quite hard. And that was that New South Wales decided to play football through their halves
Yeah.
and not,
Through Isaiah Yo.
yeah.
That was probably the biggest thing.
And I think the stat legitimately is, and now I'm not sure if this is just propaganda or not. Sources have been telling me he didn't pass the ball to the 65th minute.
Excellent.
And look what fucking happened.
Look what happened. Do you know what happened from the 65th minute? Queensland scored all their tries. So
You know.
I think just keep Jake on the whole game, personally, Madge. But, you know,
Well, they played 35-55. But
Up
look,
to you.
We'll get into specifics in a minute, but as a whole, end score doesn't shock me in the slightest. I predicted 30-14 New South Wales.
it's pretty close.
Extremely close because I understand rugby league. Did I see the first half coming? No.
God, no. They came at, everything was just going their way. The kind of questionable calls were going their way. The bounce of the ball was going their way. The momentum.
The unquestionable calls also went their way.
That was in the second half.
No, it was in both.
I thought you said all the sin bins were in the second half.
Yeah, but I'm saying some of their calls were not questionable. They were just the wrong call.
But the penalty count ended up being even at the end of the first
I would
half.
love-
It was 2-2. I'm going to
I
prove
would
it.
love.
You went to the toilet to
Love.
shit your pants. So if you didn't have to do that, then maybe you would have seen on the screen penalty count 2-2.
I would love you to show me that stat right now. Because watching it live, every single little thing went
We
New South
had more
Wales'
six
way.
agains. We had way more six agains, but the penalty count was 2-2.
I thought you said the emotion was gone for you.
But now you bring it back.
Well, what I'm trying to say is what was most frustrating of all about that was New South Wales clearly didn't need the help. It's the problem with game twos, especially Queensland have game 3 in the bag at Suncorp. You just knew. It was from the kickoff, you just knew. Payne Haas, Jakey T, they pile drive poor Lindsay almost into the in goal. Off the kickoff, you just knew them boys different.
We ended up with 3 more penalties, 9-6. You had 2 more errors. The possession rate was 54-46 possession rate, so it was really even.
And you're talking full-time stats.
Yes, it doesn't come up with halftime stats,
Okay.
but that's full-time stats.
So let's say at one point it was 2-2 penalty count.
Yeah,
That
it ended up
means-
9-6.
For New South Wales?
Yes.
Which means, okay, so you then went 7-4.
Yeah.
Even with
yes,
all
but
the
I
calls in
am
the second half.
100% positive that there was a 2-2 penalty count at one point.
Yeah, maybe the 4th minute.
Shut up.
What I'm saying is, you're saying all the questionable calls went the second half of Queensland, and New South Wales did avoid 3 clear, blatant sin bins.
Yeah, that was big.
Neither here nor there. I guess you're allowed to head high guys in Origin. Oh, unless you knock them out clean.
Way less errors, though, than Game 1. Game 1, New South Wales had 11 errors. Queensland had 15. Game 2, New South Wales had 5 errors. Queensland had 7. So both teams really cut back on their errors from Game 1.
They did.
That's really cool.
That is super cool. Great insight.
Thank you.
But yeah, look, it was clear as day. They just the power game was too much. Onto New South Wales. You know, if you're looking at specifics, as I mentioned, like off the kickoff, I've never seen Payne Haas play an Origin like that.
No.
It truly was a coming of age. He was the alpha on there. Clear and away.
If Mitch Moses didn't get man of the match, I was giving it to Payne Haas.
Holy.
Payne Haas, Angus Crichton, or Mitch Moses.
Well, big Payne Haas, and he's not known for his aggression.
No.
He's known for his work rate, obviously.
But it was visible.
Off the kickoff.
Yes.
He was pushing guys' heads in the ground. He was getting in the argy-bargy.
Yeah.
And that New South Wales 4-pack dominance, as you said, Angus Crichton he's honestly playing like the best player in the world right now.
He is.
He is fucking untouchable.
He's killing it.
Like, move over mushrooms.
Like,
in steroids.
It was taking like 3 people just to bring him down off just a normal run. And there were front rowers from Queensland trying to take him down. And they couldn't.
Yeah,
Lindsay couldn't.
It's reminded me of like Joe Tapani a few years ago where he went that season. People couldn't get him to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, the Big Nash could be on him. You just
could not.
He stood every tackle. It was the weirdest thing ever.
I don't think. Yeah, it was.
But Angus Crichton,
he barely was on the ground, and
Yeah.
he was making so many breakthroughs as well. And then on one side you've got him, but then you pass it to the other back rower, which is like a machine of Liam Martin as well. It just they just played their power game so well.
Well, yeah, and it's just that dominance in the 4-pack. It just it highlights on the Queensland side, not to get into it too quick.
Missing their forward pack.
Yeah, and it highlights that. When New South Wales played that far, and it's like, again, on paper, bigger, stronger, more powerful, and they showed it. And that's when it highlights that Queensland are missing Flagler and Tino. The 2 starting front rows. Big boppers.
Yeah.
And then you've got Tom Gilbert on the back row.
Who's like a Crichton.
No, he's like a Liam Martin.
Oh, Liam Martin, that's what I meant.
You've got 3 starting big boys. It's like that's the risk of having a Ruben Cotter starting in front row.
Yeah.
He's half the size of those guys.
Yeah.
He's all heart, all work rates, and when Queensland have the ball, he's got that speed, that mobility. But when everything goes New South Wales' way, like it did in the first half,
it's so hard to stop the momentum.
They're too strong.
Him trying to stop Payne Haas was
like it's too much, and that's what you saw because it was 0-0 for the first 10 minutes, and then they scored, and there was another 5 minutes. It was really from like the 17th minute to about the 30th minute.
And
that's when it was just 4 tries, floodgates open.
It was ridiculous. And they actually went up the middle and then went to the sides, which is what they should have done in game 1. But they went up the middle and they just tore up the middle, waited till got a few quick play the balls, waited till Queensland were on the back foot, and then went to their wingers.
Yeah. And it highlighted the importance of bringing Cam Murray into the side as well.
Oh, huge
A bit of an unsung hero.
He was a massive unsung hero.
Because it's just that speed.
His ball playing.
Speed to play the ball.
Yeah.
And his work rate. You know, you had Cam McInnes in there who tackles ass off, but he's not running like that. He's not getting those quick play the balls.
So he balanced out like our big, powerful forwards really well.
Yeah, really well. Like, it wasn't a bad play for New South Wales. Then you go into, obviously, Mitchell Moses.
That kicking game was honestly one of the biggest differences in... If we had Nico's kicking game, I don't even know if we win, if I'm being honest.
He had 7 tries. He had 4 tries.
Try assists.
So it wasn't even just his kicking game. It was just... He steered the ship. He did a Cherry Evans.
He steered it so well.
Steered the ship.
Did he kick a 40-20?
No, he nearly did.
He nearly did.
But he was over the line. But yeah, he just steered the ship so well. I mean, going into it, if everyone's healthy, off of last year,
you would go Moses.
He was my there. 7.
Yeah.
And if you really want Cleary, he's 6.
Yeah.
But to me, Moses had that jersey safer than Cleary.
Oh, he did. He played outstanding in game 3.
Like, you just saw. And last year, even when he came in game 2, he was doing the chip and chase. He didn't win the game, but he was the most dangerous player on the field by far for New South Wales. Comes in this game. And it's crazy. He's coming off the team coming last.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's coming off a high-flying team.
No.
He's coming off a cellar dweller.
He is the only halfback since Joey Johns to play Origin of a team that is on the bottom of the table. Him and Joey Johns have done it. I don't know who before him, but he's been the only one since. It was a fun stat I read.
That's a great stat.
Thank
I haven't
you.
heard that before.
I did. I read it.
It's a great stat.
Thank you. Continue.
Great confidence.
Thank you.
Yeah, look, and then the backs, like, and it's crazy, like, if you look at Latrell, he didn't have the best game because he didn't have to do much, but he was used
the right
perfectly.
way. They used him how we said he should. So I'm thinking they listened.
They had to.
They had to.
So shout
out
out Madge.
Madge.
Surely, yeah, fuck, they could bring us around Allura. Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, motivate the boys. I can wear the Queensland jersey, inspire them.
So they can punch you in the face.
Yeah, I bring that, and also I'll bring the under 10 best back trophy. And just sort of sit
Most
that,
punchable human
and
in
just,
the world.
I guess probably stare them in the eyes and go, "Hey, thank Christ for you. I gave that sport up because
Who for Edwards?
yeah, any of them tap Latrell on the shoulder and go, hey bud, alternate reality, I'm you."
Was it under 10's best back in your club or in the whole
Thanks
competition?
for asking. So it was in the club.
That's a little less impressive. There's only a few that they can choose from.
Well, so it was because, the year before, like, I'd just come into rugby league. And
At 9.
Was I a winger? Yeah, exactly. Tough age. Was I a winger? Was I centre? Was I fullback? Played a bunch of different positions. I scored a hat-trick my second ever game.
In 10.
Pretty fucking impressive. You don't reckon that's impressive?
It is very impressive.
Coming off my first ever game where I was kicker, but I didn't realise that when you were a winger, you were allowed to move from the wing. So come last tackle, I was supposed to kick it, but I didn't realise I could move from my wing. So you would have to get the ball all the way to me on the wing for me to kick it. And then second year, I just take the reins at 6 and I led the boys. Not sure what we came, but I fucking steered the boys.
That's good.
Yeah. Then tragedy struck, but we won't get into that.
Okay. Anyway, back to Latrell.
Yeah, Latrell, look, he was used perfectly. He might have touched the ball 10 times and all 10 touches were class. I mean,
Yeah.
he did exactly what he had to do. Then you go on the other side, Stephen Crichton.
Crichton.
Who...
I wasn't a fan of some of the stuff he did. And his sleep schedule, mind you.
Yeah, that was a big... Yeah, go on, give into that big point before I give mine.
Well, both of them and Latrell, the centres, they've
Yeah.
got to watch their
Listen,
sleeping.
New South Wales.
You've got to...
Madge, because you gotta be careful of this shit. It's not fucking funny.
They
Sorry.
can't play a game like that and then get up at 5:30 the next morning. And look, they just played Origin, but he made uncharacteristic errors against the Dogs. For Crichton did, and I was like, maybe he wouldn't have done that if he got enough sleep. Sleep's very important, and I know guys need less sleep than girls. Like 6 to 7 hours is like a peak time for guys, and girls need about 8 to 9. So maybe I would have hit the gym later.
Exactly. So I hope you're fucking listening. So and it doesn't matter that they're professional athletes and they would have like a whole team there.
Yeah, well, their team's wrong.
But you're right and they're wrong.
Yeah.
So open your fucking eyes, guys. Actually, take that back. Close them and go to bed.
Everyone thinks that, he's such a hero for getting up. But there was a reason the rest of the team was sleeping.
Exactly.
They're recovering.
So.
Unless he was doing stretching and mobility, then that's okay.
Yeah.
So anyway, back to Stephen Crichton in the game.
Yeah, so that's a great insight. I was...
He's a bit biased because the tackle was on Cherry.
No. What I'm going to say is I'm known for my defense.
Vincent, if you mention it one more time, I'm telling you next week we'll have 0 listeners.
So, look, I won't mention it. Oh, sorry. I was also touch football state cup winner. I don't know. I don't want to get into it, but I'm just known for my defense. And so when I watch plays, that's what I watch. Now, all this hubbaloo, all this hubbaloo about Stephen Crichton being the best defensive centre ever.
I didn't see it.
I don't know if I'm seeing it.
Well, it's like he said in game 1, his defense was incredible, but he let through 3 tries.
I don't know if I'm seeing it. Like, I don't know if I'm seeing that. He can defend.
Oh, he can.
He also obviously hasn't been watching tape of Dustin Poirier because he can put in a choke. And apparently you don't get penalised for that either, which is good to see. He fucking loves putting a choke on. But, like, I don't see that crazy defense. Great player. Great games. All due respect, come across like a little bit of a fuckwit.
Bit of a
But,
grub.
you know, yeah, I didn't see that coming.
No, it was pretty unnecessary. But, I mean, then a lot of teams do it when they're on top, especially in Origin. So.
But
I don't like it.
And that was the thing. Because for the
I don't
first, like,
like
30
it.
minutes, or even just for the first half for New South Wales, it was aggressive, but it was clean.
It was clean. Then
And,
they
you know,
got
there
grubby.
was a little bit pushing, but it was clean. Then the second half,
Then they got grubby.
they all just turned into fuckwits.
I didn't like it. I don't know. It's,
I
it's
don't
all the
understand that.
testosterone. It's just, ugh.
But it's like, look what happened when you had controlled,
Control.
clean aggression. You
They were so
dominated Queensland.
ill-disciplined. And then with, like, the thinking on the head, it's nothing to think
Bro, you just-
about.
you just put him in a
put an
headlock.
elbow into his neck. I'd be fucking pissed
You
off
put the
too.
former Australian captain in a headlock
On the ground.
gave away a penalty,
And you were
he
telling him
pushes
to
you.
think. Like, maybe you should think,
Oh,
you
brother.
dumbass. Maybe get some more sleep and you might be able to think.
Brother, that was like the.
and everyone thinking it's so smart.
was
I'm
weak as
going,
piss.
hello.
I
I was embarrassed for you. I got secondhand
He
embarrassment.
should have been singing for that.
He should have.
Like Liam Martin should have been singing. They should have taken him and went, "Hey,
Well, that's why that's why
oh.
the sin bin I found really weird. I don't know why everyone's going on about like the Liam Martin sin bin. I was like, because literally 30 seconds before that, both teams were warned that if anything happens again, one from each is going. And something happened again. So one from each
I know,
went. But
and-
it should have been Crichton. It shouldn't have been
yeah, it
Liam
should have been the guy
Martin.
who put a grapple tackle."
Yeah.
You couldn't do that.
But I was like, but then I don't understand why they're complaining because one from each went. If they were watching the game.
Oh, literally.
Ugh.
People saying that, it was Ashley trying to let Queensland back in. No, as you said.
Both went.
And we lost our best player.
Paddy Carrigan
The only guy
left the
who could
field.
say tried the whole time. We lost him. And because people say, Liam Martin was simming for a head rub.
It wasn't the point. The referee explained that.
Because I even rewatched it today. He doesn't say you're going for a head rub. He says...
One each.
No, he says you did the head rub. That started the melee.
Yeah.
That's what started it. After, again, they'd been warned 30 seconds prior. But the problem is you're asking rugby league fans to use the intuition and common sense.
I know, but even
And
the
they don't
experts were
have
talking
that.
about that. Why was none of the experts
Because they
talking?
former players. They don't have common
Why
sense.
weren't they talking about how the referees literally warned them and I had a gut and the exact
You
same
just knew what was going to happen.
the exact thing happened that he said that was going to happen. Everyone's blaming him. So Ashley, that's one call I agree with.
Exactly. And the problem is, I understand people saying, it's Origin, you let them fucking play. But
You
it's
can't.
like-
But after that, was the game controlled? Yes.
and what happens if he warns... So, if they do that 5 minutes after he warns him, it'll be play on.
Yeah.
And he'll give him another warning. The problem was, as you said, it was literally
30
the
seconds.
first play after it.
It
the
happened.
first play after
They
it.
literally both teams had just been warned.
So now if he doesn't do it, he looks like a pussy.
pushover,
And
yeah.
like there's going to be no call. So... and
I
that's,
agree
like,
with that.
The fucking refs had a stinker that game, but that call, whatever. It was one from each
Missed
side.
a few. The touchies missed a few things as well. Forward passes from both sides, a few offsides from both sides. 2 of our tries were off forward passes.
I'm honestly... You were not saying that Wednesday.
Yeah, but I re-looked at it.
Oh, I would love for you to tell me that. Look, honestly, games like that...
But I was like, one of Queensland tries was off forward pass as well. So it was...
Now you're just lashing out. I honestly think that if this doesn't work out...
You should be a touchy. Get to the point faster. I don't want to interrupt you. I need a drink.
My other take on New South Wales is... You're pushing me today, mate.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah. You're not saying anything now. You wouldn't let me get a bloody word in. Jesus. So Crichton. Yeah, look, the other thing is, honestly, 2 games in, look, a lot can happen. Smokey, Wally Lewis chat, Zach Lomax he's a shot for the Wally Lewis medal.
Oh, he is 100% a shot.
He's a top 3 player in both games.
Him, Crichton,
He was
do you
one of
think?
New South Wales' best when you lost, easily. This game, top 5.
He's a huge shot for the Wally Lewis medal. And you did see a glimpse of what the Eels will be like next year with Moses' great kick to Lomax.
Yeah. Well, again, you have an aerial target that you kick the ball
That
high
he
to,
actually
so
kicked to.
That makes sense.
And he just got up and actually catches the ball above his head.
And again, and people saw him this year, and then before game one,
It would have
saying
been really
that,
cool to see him marked against Xavier.
Do you know what I find interesting?
Yeah.
You always have a go at me for interrupting.
Yeah, sorry. But it's my state.
You're really,
You don't let me finish. All
really. It's a Freaky Friday in here.
right, just keep going.
I don't think I will.
All right, anyway.
Anything else on New South Wales? Your state?
No. I think it was a great game. I think it's going to give them a lot of confidence going into game 2. Hopefully they come in like they did in the first half and play the entire game like that. But will I be shocked if Queensland win game 3? No. But I honestly think that New South Wales have a good chance.
Well, do you fear that New South Wales have played 40 minutes of excellent football?
Yeah.
Because you lost the second half 18-4.
But they took the pedal off.
So you've played 40 minutes of good football.
Yeah. Queensland have...
Just can I
Get it out.
Some of us actually say things a little bit deeper than no, I don't have anything else. Mitchell Moses kicked it to the Zach Lomax. What I'm trying to say, interrupting Ian, is that, and I also have to think about what I speak. I think that's the other thing.
Oh, shut up and get on with it. Otherwise, I'm moving on to Queensland.
I've lost my train of thought.
You've got 3 seconds.
I think I should restart.
3, 2, 1. And Queensland, as we briefly spoke about them kind of beforehand, they just got dominated through the middle.
No. I'm having a stroke. So New South Wales has played 40 good minutes of football.
Yes.
And then you carried on like Muppets in the second half. And then the whole news media has been about how Queensland are going to have to make mass changes and New South Wales, dominant, unstoppable. This is a dynasty. Madge is a genius. Fuck Billy. Oh, he said a comment about how they're Queenslanders. Oh my God, is he an idiot?
Typical Queensland reaction to
Because
this.
New South Wales people can't think. So my question is, are you worried that New South Wales are doing exactly what they always do and getting way too ahead of themselves and now are going to lose by 4 points? It's going to be 16-12 in Queensland and you're going to be back at square one and you've just lost 3 series in a row and it's going to be fuck Madge, fuck Moses, everything, and they're going to fall apart. Are you worried about that?
Of course I am. It's New South Wales. But I think that they came in with a completely different mindset to game 1.
See, what you should have done is you should have stopped right there. That's a perfect clip. You clip that up.
I think they came in with a completely different mindset to game 2 than they did from game 1. And I agree with, I can't remember who said it, but they said, like, if I was, like, Queensland, like, I wouldn't be cheering about, like, the second half. And I was like, yes, they won the second half 18-4, but New South Wales clearly took their foot off the pedal.
Are you worried that they did that? You've only played 40 good minutes.
Yeah, but I think they can play more. They didn't need
but
to
at the same time,
outplay. They didn't need to do that again in the second half.
Why not? But see, are you worried that they maybe didn't?
No, I'm not worried.
That's all I'll say. I'm just saying
they didn't need to do that again in the second half. Queensland didn't last week. They played a shit 40 minutes against 12 men in the last game.
No, we didn't. We scored. Actual Dingleberry. We scored all our points in the second half almost.
Yeah, in the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, so we played 2 halves.
No,
because
you played
it was 20-4.
You didn't let me finish. A shit 40 minutes. Last 20 of the first half, first 20 of the second half against 12 men.
But I'm saying we played good footy in both halves.
Yes, you did. We played good footy in both halves too.
I'm just saying.
Can we move on to Queensland, please? It's already been 30 minutes.
Because it's good that you don't sound worried.
I'm not.
Now, on to Queensland. Look. Were we robbed? Yes.
No.
So we can pretty much move on. Now, round review. No, look. It was obvious, as I said for New South Wales, it was the same for Queensland. That kickoff, when we got fucking pummeled and you got Payne Haas, yipping and yahooing off the kick, you just knew it was going to. You just knew.
They just came out like a completely different side.
And it's like, that's why you don't see sweeps, especially if, well, I was going to say if the home side, it's always Queensland because unfortunately New South Wales don't win, so you don't actually see it very often. But especially like Queensland, game 3 in Queensland, New South Wales always win game 2. When they win big. You
It's
just knew.
hard
So,
not to go in with like a not as big a care factor
It's impossible.
attitude. It's really
impossible.
hard.
And like Queen,
And even if they didn't think it, it would have been in everyone's subconscious in
Yeah,
that team. Like we've got game 3 in Queensland.
yeah, because if you look at
Why
last year,
hurt ourselves in this game?
if you look at last year where it was game 3 was in Sydney, Queensland game 2 after winning game 1, come out hard, hungry,
Yeah.
killed them, and then it's game 3. Who gives a fuck? We'll lift the trophy after losing in your state, bruh.
Yeah.
You just knew it was, you just knew like.
It was,
You
you
just
could
knew.
tell it was all in their subconscious. They just didn't come out as hard.
You just don't because it's you just don't.
You just don't.
You just don't. And it's hard to blame. Like New South Wales, they're playing for their lives, and they're playing for their jerseys. Like this, so you just knew. So it comes down to more individual performances, though.
I think.
I think the big one, and it was. I don't know why I'm not hearing. I haven't heard any talk about it.
No.
It is
It was abundantly clear.
abundantly clear. The
I
Reece
heard
Walsh.
one person talk about it. One person. I don't remember his name. Go on.
Was abundantly clear that Reece Walsh wasn't ready for that game.
No.
And again, who can blame him? You come off, that's your first game after being knocked out cold. And not for the first time this year. Like, and he would have been tested, and Billy is very open. He rest plays. After Ponga's injuries, didn't play him. Cobbo, with his injuries, I'm resting you. He's not afraid to do that. And with a game 2, that's why I would have picked Hammer at fullback. But obviously they would have done the test, and they wouldn't have just left up a chance.
But
he must have passed, but come game day, he was not ready.
I think he didn't let on how much that hit actually. I mean, he's only 21 years old. Of course it's going to mess with your mental head. Like of course it's going to mess with your mentality.
Yeah, but it was in State of Origin, you can't do that.
But exactly, but I think he let on.
Yeah, he must have hidden it well because, again,
It was
Billy
very
is
clear.
very big on if you're not fit, you're not picked.
Yeah.
He won't pick you unless he's seen
He
you
was
fit.
afraid to run the ball. He was afraid to pass the ball.
It was everything. He was out of position constantly. The worst one was the one where Luai took fucking 45 seconds to put his shoe back on, which I didn't think you were allowed to do that.
No.
But anyway, he takes 45 seconds to put his shoe back on, and then Moses just simply gets the ball, kicks it to, grabs it in, and Toto scores. And Reece Walsh is on the other side of the post. Yeah. He had 45 seconds
to get
in position. He can see where Moses is. He can see where the ball is. You're an elite level fullback who's been coached by the best ever. You have to be in position. How can he was so far off?
I don't know. It's like
that sums up his night. He was so not confident. Anytime he did have the ball, if he ran, he was passing so before
early.
the line. He wasn't even getting close, which all that meant was the centers or back rows, whoever he passed to, they're tackled immediately. Where his specialty is running, his speed. He attacks it so fast, he draws in both guys because he goes all the way to the line,
and then
draws
passes.
them in, pass, bang. That is his bread and butter.
Or he passes dummies and then they go and then he's straight through because he's too quick.
Yeah, it's his bread and butter. But this game, he was passing meters. Like, honestly,
you could
2 meters
tell
before the
he
line.
was passing way earlier.
In defense, he didn't want to catch a bomb. He wasn't communicating. He wasn't in the right defensive positions. He didn't want to touch it.
He didn't want to run. Every time if he did catch the ball, he passed it straight off to his wingers.
And if he was getting tackled, he would just surrender. Every time he got tackled, he would drop to the ground as quick as he could. And it wasn't until the last 20 minutes where he kind of got more into the game. But by then, again,
too late.
He touched the ball more. He was honestly more destructive to Queensland than New South Wales. Because even if he would run the line, like the one where he's running, dumming, backwards, looking, then completely 180s, fucking throws a hospital ball to Val, who gets creamed by Lee Martin, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, that's not Val's fault, bro.
No, it was Crichton. It was Crichton.
Crichton, whoever it was, it's like that.
He was being really destructive. He went from being nowhere and now being everywhere. He just wasn't ready.
He wasn't ready.
I don't know if I pick him for game 3.
Well, and we'll get into that, but that right there is the biggest question mark for me. Like,
I'm just not sure.
It's the biggest question mark for me, and that I think him having no confidence, it rattled the rest of them. You could, because again, he's like their live wire, the fullback. You look to him. I think that
To
rattled
give
him.
a bit of pace. You look to him to just
Well,
get
for
the ball
confidence.
rolling. Yeah.
He's a confident guy. And if he's playing with no confidence, that's going to stem down the team. And you could see it.
Especially in defense.
Yeah, you could see it. As I mentioned, the forward depth, like... And again, no one's talked about that for Queensland. But,
No.
again, they're missing their 2 starting front rowers who, again, big boppers. Like, Lindsay Collins is big, but he's not particularly aggressive. But then if you replace him with fucking big Tino, who is already fucking punched on with Haas. And
Lindsay's big, but it's just the problem. Oh, he just needs another... Ruben Cotter's not that.
No, they're perfect bench forwards.
Yes.
They are work ethic forwards.
Yeah.
Tino and Flegler are impact
Packed
forwards.
forwards, yes.
And Tino can go 80 minutes. He can match Haas.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
He can match him for physicality. He can match him for aggression.
And size.
That's your alpha.
Yeah.
Like, he's young. He's Queensland's alpha. Then you take out Flegler, the other firebrand, and Gilbert. They just got it. They're in a game like that exposed them. And so for Queensland in game 3, and you saw second half when the possession evens out, Queensland can get a roll.
Yeah.
And they can hang with them.
But
It's
they
just
need to
if
do
there's a
something to
floodgate-
stop that floodgate. They need to figure out how to stop that power momentum to be
Exactly.
able to get in the game.
And in years past, that's where you see Tino putting a big hit.
Yes.
Or even throw a punch. Like, you see him do a
See
big act.
something to change the momentum, in that Origin game.
You've seen Thomas Gilbert do what Liam Martin does.
Yes.
Do a big hit.
Yes.
Get in a fight 40 seconds into an Origin.
Yes.
Just get that. They lack that aggression.
Yeah.
So frankly, they got bullied. I think game 3 is going to be the same.
I'm so excited.
Val is on thin ice. Honestly,
He's kicking.
if he wasn't a kicker, he's not in this side.
Well, he kicked 6 from 6 in the first game, and I think he
And
missed
if you-
one.
if you think
No,
of-
he got 3 from 3.
Yeah, if you think about it, he hasn't missed a kick this year.
No.
But if you think about it, there's no other kicker in this current Queensland side.
No, there's not.
You have Reece Walsh, that's it. So that, honestly, is why he's in the side. He's missed tackles. His ball running isn't there this year.
No.
He's making errors. He's poor defense. And you thought a game like this, hey, you got Latrell. If you're going to get up for a game,
It's got to
is
be
it.
this one.
No.
And Latrell didn't have that many runs, but when he did, Val was missing them, and
Yeah, it's just...
they kept going down the side. I don't know.
It's just tough. So, as far as changes go, and again, but you've still got to make, obviously, there's injuries. You've got to wait for games to come out.
Yeah.
But changes, if everyone's healthy, New South Wales, you don't change a thing.
No,
You don't change a thing.
you shouldn't.
And
I don't-
even
I don't
like
expect to see
someone like
changes.
Connor Watson, I'd feel really bad if he got changed. It was tough because it wasn't a game where...
He was needed. He wasn't needed in the game.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they changed
But you
him.
keep him there because he was perfect
If
if he did.
he is needed, he can come on and do the job.
Yeah. So, New South Wales, I wouldn't change a thing.
No,
Queensland, I would change a few things.
I would change.
But it's more...
The biggest change for me for Queensland is Fafita has to be in the side. He can match. He's someone like the back rower that can match Crichton and Liam Martin's aggression. Like
No.
he has to
Well,
be in the side.
Yeah. But for me, how I would use him, he's Queensland Spencer Leniu.
Yes,
That is the role that he can play. He has to come in. I mean, most people have been saying this since game
He
1.
has to come in.
It's some weird thing
going on.
because it's not clear.
And Billy doesn't take anything lightly, so clearly something's going on.
Something's happened, but no one understands why. I also don't understand why. It's game 3, he has to come in. And maybe this is why he's went. Maybe he was trying to get him pissed off, hungry, bring him in.
Fine, now you're chosen.
But for me,
Show me.
I want him on the bench. He is the answer to Spencer Leniu.
Yeah.
Big, strong, aggressive. He could play 80 on the edge if you really want. But for me, you just tell him, all you need is 30 minutes of just your best. You just chuck him in the middle.
Yeah.
30 minutes, aggression, ball running, offloading, big hits.
I did think they shut down Spencer though in game 2.
Yeah, he didn't have anywhere near the impact.
impact.
Like he was
But
still
the
fucking,
problem
then
was
again,
Payne Haas
his
was
first
so
run, he
impactful.
ran fucking 40
40
meters. Like,
yeah.
But yeah, you have to bring Fafita in,
in.
and that's how I would play him.
He's a momentum player that you could get like with a big run, you know?
Yeah. After that game, I think that for me, Reece Walsh has to have a blinder this week.
Oh, he has to. And it's the game to do it against Penrith.
He has to. Because after watching that, I can't put him back in. For me, Hammer's the fullback.
Yeah.
He's got the AC joint injury. He returned that game. He fucking still scored a try that game. And from all reports, it's just minor, but they only had one game and then the bye. So his next game will be Origin. So it's unfortunate he hasn't get to see him in a game.
But I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, he'll be in. It's either center or slight spanner in the work. If Kalen Ponga, he's back this week.
He is. If he has a blinder.
He'll get 2 games. If he has 2 blinders, if he's healthy, pre-season, he was my fullback. For me, he's above Reece Walsh.
Yeah.
Being very clear about that.
Especially after last season.
Yeah, I just always. He is an evolved Reece Walsh.
Yeah, he is.
So it's like on the flip side, New South Wales, for example, if Nathan Cleary comes out of a blinder, you cannot possibly change that. You can't. But Queensland, flip side, after watching Reece Walsh like that, not ready. Let's say Ponga comes out, has 2 man of the match performances.
Well, they pick at the end of this week. They go into camp next week.
No.
Yeah, Madge says on Sunday night.
Okay.
They pick.
All right, well, he gets 1 game.
1 game.
If Kalen comes out, has a fucking blinder, man of the match performance, I'm not against it. I don't see it happening, but I'm not against it. But yeah,
they pick Sunday because next week they're in camp.
Yeah, fuck. If Kalen Ponga has a blinder, maybe you put him at fullback. If he doesn't, or you don't want to take that risk, Hammer's my fullback. I take Hammer at the fullback, and if anything, with the shoulder, it's actually less work for him. Yeah. He's not going to have to make the same amount of tackles he can make, and running, he can protect it a little bit easier. Hammer's the fullback. Reece Walsh is out.
Who goes into the because Xavier's coach is often injured.
Yeah, Xavier's out. So what I would do, you've got a few options, but I would also change the backline in terms of. I do not understand why currently Val Holmes and Talangi aren't defending next to each other.
Yeah, they should be. They're
the Cowboys' edge. They defend every single week next to each other. Why on earth are they not defending next to each other?
I don't know.
Talangi is an excellent defender. Val struggles. Put them together. Meanwhile, on the other side, I would have had Xavier Coates marking Lomax.
Lomax, yes.
That nullifies the aerial attack right then and there. And then Hammer at center. But now I put Hammer at fullback. Xavier Coates comes out. You got 2 options. If Cobbo is ready, for me, you either... Actually, I've worked myself into a shoot here.
So Hammer fullback.
No, because now I've shot myself... I'm contradicting myself a bit. Well, no, I'm not. You have the possibility of you could put Val in the wing.
Yeah.
If you want to.
Yeah.
And you put Cobbo in the centers.
Yeah.
If you want Val in the centers, fucking put him next to Talangi.
Yes.
Make that, and then I would bring Cobbo.
Would you put him on the other center or the other wing?
See, I would... See, it's hard. If I'm putting Hammer at fullback... Yeah. And that's what I'm doing. I'm putting Hammer at fullback.
Yeah.
On my one side, I have Talangi and Val next to each other.
Yeah.
On the other side, I have Selwyn Cobbo on the wing. Yeah. And I have Dane Gagai in the centers.
Yeah.
And I tell Dane Gagai, and you might have to swap Val and him. I don't care. Yeah. I tell him, Latrell's yours. Yeah. You do whatever you need to do.
To rile him up.
The last couple of years, his defense has slipped. But... You know what he's done for Queensland. You know he could get up for it. And you know he would take it personal.
Yeah.
That is what I would do. And you've seen what Cobbo can do in the centers. Yeah. You've seen what they two can do next to each other.
Yeah. What about if Ponga's your fullback?
Or if you wanted to, you could even swap that and put Gagai in the wing.
And Cobbo in the center.
But that's what I would do. If what, sorry?
Ponga's your fullback.
If Ponga's my fullback, then obviously... If Ponga's my fullback, then Hammer stays in the centers and Cobbo comes in the wing.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
And now you've got Cobbo. You tell him Lomax is yours. That's an aerial threat. Yeah. Speed. That's what I do.
So they're your changes. Is there any other changes?
Other changes is with the forward pack. If you look at the back row, and you even saw it in that game, Jaden Sua's been copping flack, but he's making breaks.
He is.
He's
He
making
did a good
errors,
job.
but he's making breaks. And then he came out in the Dragons, man of the match performance, was playing center for a lot of it.
Yeah.
Killed it. Yes, he's making errors, but even like when they were getting dominated, he was the guy making breaks.
Breaks, yeah.
I have him, but I wouldn't change it necessarily. I tweak it. I would have Felice Kafusi,
Yeah.
and you wouldn't have fucking thought this
No.
come pre-game one. He would be starting on the back row.
Yeah.
His defense, you even see that he's the best defensive edge of the last 10 years.
Yeah.
He comes in for his defense on the edge. I would then have Nanai on the other edge, who's been one of our best players. And I don't trust his defense, but he's fucking doing a good job. So Felice and Nanai are the starting back rowers.
Yeah.
I have Fafita on the bench. I have Jaden Sua on the bench.
Yeah.
Two big boys can have impact.
Yes.
Harry Grant needs a big game.
He hasn't had a great series.
He's had a rough series.
He hasn't had a great series.
And he misses this week again for Melbourne because of his cut in his head. So, obviously you don't change that. He needs a big game. 17, it's not Kurt Capel. Sorry, brah.
Corey Oates. Does Corey Oates make an
Corey Oates
appearance?
come in the win? If he has a big game, honestly, yeah, do you fucking call Big Red up?
From Reggie's.
Do you call
From
Big
a
Red
punch
up?
up in Reggie's.
Yeah, he'll be suspended, so you can't call him up. Oh, see, and then you could have Mo Fodawaker, but he's got to have a big game.
Interesting what's going to happen.
Oh, maybe if you want, I think Jaden Sua and Tina and Fafita obviously can both play edge. They can both play in the middle.
Yes.
My team's it all depends if you put Hammer at fullback or not.
Okay, well let's
Because
just
if you don't put Hammer at fullback and you say Walsh is fullback or Ponga's fullback and Hammer's still in the centres.
Yeah.
I think you bring either Gagai or Cobbo, whichever one you don't pick in the wing, onto the bench.
Yeah. If let's say that Billy picks Walsh at fullback, do you bring Ponga into the side at all?
No.
Okay.
Off of one game, no. He's your fullback or he's not at all.
Okay.
And that's the same with Reece Walsh.
Okay.
If he comes out this week, kills it, and you believe he's got the confidence out, pick him.
Yeah.
If he shows any signs that he's not ready, Hammer's fullback.
Yeah.
So sorry if you're following along. My team's a fucking mess because it's all dependent on that.
My team's going great. Go the Blues.
Go the Blues. But yeah, look, it's going to be Queensland 16-12 game 3. You all know it. And New South Wales
We are gonna raise the trophy in the Queensland state. Yay!
You know, look at that smile. We all hope and we all dream. You know, I work with kids for a living. So it's great to see the joy in their face. And I want to be the one to break it.
It's character building going for New South Wales. You know, you can't win all the time in life, and they show you that you can lose and lose and lose again and still get up and keep going. So they show you that.
But it's weird how upset you quickly you get upset still.
I do get upset quickly, but I get over it better.
Even New South Wales don't know how to character build. But look, before we get into around a review and that, I think it would be remiss if we didn't bring up our listener questions.
I think so.
And again,
just a random one.
Oh shit, 49.
Pick it out of a hat.
It's 49 minutes.
We've only got time for one.
I picked one, and it was from, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right. It's a bit of a funny name. Anna Kin.
Anakin. It's a weird name.
Like Star Wars.
Yeah.
Anakin. Duh. So whoever you are, thanks for listening. Anakin has asked us, look, if you were to replace your spine, not in your back, in your fucking football team.
It's not funny.
Well, I'm sorry. You understand things. You've got confidence.
I do.
That's a song. So yeah, look, he's asked us to replace. If you had to replace your current spine in your team, replace from another team, who would you choose?
I'm gonna sneeze. Sorry.
Do it right in the mic. Bless you.
Thank you.
Welcome. So look, I think the way we do this is, just off the dome, quick.
Okay.
And we can't pick. Obviously, if Roosters and Storm, that's who we're changing.
Yeah.
Can't pick the same player because they're playing the same comp. Do you want to? So it'll be you, me. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
Can you start, please?
So we'll start fullback, and working our way in.
Oh, it's a lot of pressure.
Don't think too hard about it.
Okay.
Look, if I had to change fullbacks, I would take Kalen Ponga. Easy.
I'm taking the hammer.
Okay. Now I would take at 6. No, you go 6 first.
No. I said you have to go first.
Well, then I'm taking the best player each time.
It doesn't matter. Just go first. I can't decide.
If I had to change my 6, I would take. It's hard. I would take Nathan Cleary.
Well, I'm taking Munster.
Yeah, that was the obvious one. If I was to take 7, I would take Mitchell Moses.
Damn it, no, I wanted Mitchell Moses.
I really think that they could work well together.
Well, then I want to take Jerome Hughes because he's playing awesome at the moment.
You'd be silly if you don't just take the entire Melbourne side.
Yeah, well, I'm taking... No, Pappy's injured. I want Hammer at fullback, and I'm taking Munster and Jerome.
Do you want Harry? Do you want to just
No,
take him?
I don't want Harry.
Best hooker in the world? I would take at number 9...
Oh, I want Connor Watson, but he's already in the team.
Oh. See, I like Connor Watson at 13.
Yeah, that's true. I like Connor Watson at 13.
But... that's a... I was tossing up him or Ben Hunt.
I didn't know whether to do Ben Hunt or Appy.
Oh!
No, don't take Appy. I want Appy. No, I don't know if I want him or Ben Hunt. I choose Appy.
I'm taking Appy.
I want Appy. I said it first. I'm having Appy.
All right, I'm I don't know. I'm gonna. Who's my fullback? You know what? Oh, do you want the old head? But then you've got. I don't know if you want the old head or if you're just going fuck it.
Your fullback was Ponga.
We're going all out youth. Give me Connor Watson at 9.
Oh, love it.
So to recap, if Melbourne Storm, we've gutted our spine. Could you imagine Melbourne Storm running out with Kalen Ponga at 1, Nathan Cleary at 6, Mitchell Moses at 7, and Connor Watson at 9? And guess what? Could you imagine that the current Melbourne spine, you would argue, is still better?
I don't know. It's a pretty good spine.
That's an elite spine.
It's a pretty great spine. My spine for the Roosters are ditching everyone. I'm taking the hammer.
Well, the Roosters actually probably would do this.
Yeah. I'm taking the hammer. Oh, but I don't know if I want him or Dylan Edwards. No, I'm taking the hammer. I'm taking then the 2 Melbourne halves, Munster and Hughes. And then I'm taking Appy at 9.
Yeah.
That's a great spine.
Yeah, it's good spines. Let us know your thought. Let us know who you think was better.
Mine would be a flashy spine.
Yeah, is that your style? Flash?
Yeah, especially with hammer and Appy. Yeah, I'd go.
Yeah, mine would be.
But then you have the smarts of Hughes, and I just think it balances each other out well. I think both our spines balance quite well.
See, my spine is speed.
So is mine.
And
Speed.
craft.
Mine's speed and craft.
Yours
Our
is
both are speed and craft.
They're both speed and craft. They're both pretty fucking
They're
good.
both pretty great.
So as always, let us know your listener questions. Unfortunately, we usually only have time for one, but we can make a special case. So we'll see. But anyway,
We're thinking about this week's question. You let us know if you think we should do a Origin review after Origin game instead of waiting till the next week. Like if we should do a special episode on like the Thursday or Friday or something and drop it.
We'll make that the poll because we want your questions. So you let us know your questions. But yeah, we'll have the poll.
The poll.
As do you want should we do for Origin 3, review it the next day?
I'm telling you, if the Blues lose, I won't be.
And it's tough because again, after a week, as I've said 2 times
We've
now,
got time to process it.
and I've said the emotion's gone, but it actually hasn't. If anything, the resentment has built up.
So what do you think we should do? You decide.
Let us know. But look, quickly, before we get into the round review, look, a few notable takeaways from the round, and, you know, big signing news. But
a lot of Roosters
it's just
signing.
big Roosters news.
There's one for the Titans and the Dogs, but they're moving from the Roosters, the Dog one. So it's a lot of Roosters changes.
Exactly. There is, you know, the biggest one, well, possibly the most interesting is Marky Mark. You were really good at saying his last name.
Mark N.
Mark N. Well executed.
Thank
That was
you.
difficult.
Thank you.
Mark N. He obviously is coming from the Wallabies, coming from rugby union, signed with them for 2025. Now, it has been changed. I guess when you look at the Roosters side this week, spoiler alert, Michael Jennings is back in the centre. So
Why?
I guess they are desperate.
Desperate.
So after the Paris Olympics
Well, because
conclude,
Egan Butcher's done his knee as well.
who wasn't a centre,
I bet he did well.
but he's not a centre. Because your other centre this week is Tupanua, who's not
Not
a
a
centre.
centre.
So
We're desperate on centres.
yeah, so possibly that's why after Paris, the 2024 Olympics, Mark
N.
N. Sorry, I can never get that one right. He's going to sign with the club effective immediately. I don't know. I've seen things. I'm not sure if that means he's eligible for the Roosters or he has to play
I don't know.
reserve grade for the year and start next year. But at
but-
the same time, that doesn't really make sense. But also for the
Titans.
Roosters, just quickly, you'll get Swiley
sorry.
back next week.
Yeah, Swalei comes back next week.
But
That's
he's who
the
he's
centre we're
replacing,
missing.
so that'll be interesting. Carter Gordon also for the Wallabies, but he's already at the Titans now.
Yeah, he's training with them now.
Yeah, but again, I'm not sure if he's allowed to play this year or
He
have to wait
just
till
said
next year.
all it said on NRL 9 is that it's just been allowed for training. They didn't say anything about games. It just
Yeah.
said exclusive training.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, also Roosters, Angus Crichton re-signed.
You're
He's
stupid.
He's the best player in the world right
You're
now. Like,
stupid if you don't re-sign him. Absolutely stupid.
you knew that was going to happen, so there's no shock.
But big loss in, I think, Tupanua going to the Dogs.
Tupanua Dogs, great
Signing for
them.
the Dogs. Gus Gould looked pretty chuffed with himself.
He did look pretty chuffed. But really, Nick Politis will be pretty chuffed bringing a premiership winner to the fold.
Chad Townsend.
Chad Townsend.
Weird move.
This one is a curveball.
I thought but they're talking that they want to meet with Sam Walker like this week, or like upcoming, because they're worried before November because to extend his already contract, because they're worried that he's going to want out and other clubs are going to want him, especially the Broncos. So I was like, so are they bringing him in just in case Sam Walker goes? Because I thought they were going to put Sandon Smith in there. So are they bringing him into play? Are they bringing him in as a just in case? Like, what are they doing? It's a weird signing.
And I'd
It's no Cooper Cronk.
But it's a premiership winner. And it is well known Roosters don't win comps without a premiership winning 7.
But I think Sam Walker
It just
is.
shows
But
you
you
that.
cannot, if you play Chad Townsend, you cannot play him at 7. If Sam Walker's there, Sam Walker has to be your 7. He's playing so well this year.
But at the same time,
I think
Luke
their
Keary
premiership.
plays an interesting type of 6 where he's nowadays, he's more like a 7 playing 6, but it has to be Sam Walker's team.
Yes.
Chad Townsend has only ever played 7. I don't know if I don't know. I guess if he's there to just play, like he could be there as the backup.
Yeah.
He's at the end of his career.
He could be there.
Cowboys
as
might have
backup.
went, hey, bruh,
We don't
no
want you.
thanks. Like, we're going to move Dearden's a 7.
7, yeah.
Who's playing 6. So
I don't know.
it's a very weird one. If
He
he's
could have
there-
wanted to play just for some money at the back end of his career and live in Bondi, you know.
No, mate, he would be taking a pay cut.
Oh, well, he might just wanted to live in Bondi. I don't know.
Mate, or
Maybe his Fancy Pants gave him a car.
Yeah, a lot of third-party agreements. But, I don't know. It's just a weird one. If he's there as cover, as a backup, okay. If he's there to play 6, surely he's not there to play 7. If he's there to play 6, that also doesn't make sense. I would be putting Sandon Smith or even Watson.
In 6.
Very
Very
strange,
weird.
but
I don't know.
Yeah, another talking point quickly, and yet it's poor old Nico under pressure. It's we
He's
said
just
we
I
said
feel
that Reece
so
Walsh
bad.
is playing
He's
without
lost,
confidence.
He's lost so much confidence in himself in those pressure moments, and you can just see it on his face.
And the problem is that the only way to solve it is he's got to do it. He's got to pull
pull
something in one of
something.
those. Problem is, every time he doesn't, that noise.
It just gets louder and louder.
And now, for better or worse, it's at the point where most people are like, now I feel bad.
Yeah.
You might have laughed at first. You might have went, unlucky, bruh. Now it's
like, I feel bad. The mental noise would be so loud.
You're the halfback. You can't be missing from 15 in front. You're just like, you just can't.
I know.
And if you were to kick that, it wouldn't get close. It wouldn't get off the ground. If I was to kick it, like, we'll slot it straight down the middle. So I'm sort of an exemption.
Yeah, I wouldn't get it off the ground.
Sure, Dalian winning 7?
You
got shot. You have to nail it.
He has to nail it.
And he unfortunately...
And it was to win the game.
And it's coming off the week before. He misses the week before, 2 weeks before. He misses from the sideline.
Which is a harder.
That's coming off a poor performance in Origin, where his first kick, he kicks it dead. That's like...
And his kicking game in Origin was not good.
They're stacking up.
Yeah, I feel genuinely bad for him. And fuck the Dogs fans who were like booing him and stuff. Like, he's a person. So I do like Stephen Crichton for going up to him after that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just unlucky. The other thing, interesting call is from Jason Demetrio.
Yeah. This was my one. Jason Demetrio, he said, like, we're discussing about all of the inconsistency in the bunker calls. I don't know.
It's muted.
It's not. Inconsistent. Stop it. Inconsistency in the bunker calls. And a way to stop that.
It was muted.
It's not.
But play it cool. Continue.
To stop that would to be if they had one or two people just consistently in the bunker. So like they're not reffing. It's like rather than the refs all rotating in and out of the bunker and not getting that consistency. I feel like you're going to get inconsistency in games because there's all different refs. But the bunker, if they're going to have it, it needs to be consistent. Every call, everything, it needs to be consistent. So I actually kind of agree with it.
It's not a bad point, but then... You just said it then, like, refs change each game.
I know, but refs change that. But if they're going to have a bunker, that's a second opinion. They're going to go, Gerald Sutton's going to go upstairs after every try.
See, that's why it should be Gerald.
It should be.
It should be Gerald.
He goes upstairs. But it's like if they're going to call one thing a sin bin 1 week, then the bunker's going to pull a sin bin back that happened 5 minutes ago, send him off. But then the next week, they're not going to do that. And then the week after, they're going to do it. Like, that has to be consistent. If they're going to interrupt the game... That wasn't an on-field call. If they're going to keep interrupting the game and call things themselves, it has to be consistent every single week. Yeah. And it's not like they even have the game pressure. They're not even at the game.
Could you just have the referee's boss in there?
Yeah.
What does he do all day?
I don't know. Tell them to be shit?
No, yeah, because then he has, a press conference every week after the games where he says, oh, this call was wrong and this call was wrong. And this
fix it.
Wrong. Maybe he should just go in the bunker. Do you know what I mean?
He seems to know.
That's the boss of the referee.
He seems to know what's up.
Put your money where your mouth is.
You keep saying it in the...
So, Graham, get in there, bro.
Get in there. But I agree. I was like, but if they're going to keep, like, the difference between whoever's hip drop in Origin, over horizontal, and the difference between that and RTS. I was like, they cannot call RTS as a sin bin and then not sin bin that. I don't agree any of them should have been a sin bin. But if they're going to call one, they have to call the other. Yeah. And that's the bunker. So, I agree. Anyway.
Yeah, I don't, yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
I think it should be a set team. But look, reviewing the round, moving on to the round that was.
Crazy round. Kicking off with the Dogs and the Sharks.
Yeah, look, and we'll be quick with the review. Sometimes I think maybe we go too in depth.
Yeah.
And again, like up until like Saturday night, I was really in tune. And Sunday, I checked out pretty hard. But yeah, look, Bulldogs 15 defeat the Sharks 14. Any key takeaways? Look, if we're thinking more key takeaways.
Well, Nico under pressure. Matt Burton has an excellent...
he has the most cleanest, most effortless strike I think I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He and
just because he missed it was like, he was so...
But but the thing is, if the Bulldogs put any thought whatsoever into their setup for a field goal, they don't go to overtime.
No.
Because they get the play and he kicks it, and the last play of the game, they kick for touch, and he gets it to about the 50-meter mark, and they just do a quick tap, and then he gets it, but he's nowhere near deep enough, and then the defense is sprinting at him, and he just fucking no-step 50 meters on the left foot through defenders.
Nearly
He
got
goes
it.
75 meters, he just misses it. If they had taken 2 extra seconds to actually...
Set up
Like,
the
the guy
kick.
tapping at Zeri, he gets the ball and just fucking tap. What are you doing? Hold it. Let Burton set up. If he's deep, he could have kicked it from 60.
So effortless. He's
clean.
got such a big kick.
And he gets
I
another
don't
one
understand.
from like 40. And then the one that he steals the game with is from like 38 meters. Just effortless. No step.
Effortless.
Yeah, it's... But then the thing is, like... The other thing is, he went 1 of 3.
Chad Townsend is official for 2025 as of 35 minutes ago. FYI, sorry.
It was actually earlier than that, but anyway.
Sorry.
It's okay. He went 1 of 3 because he wants the ball in that moment, and he was not afraid to miss. I think it was his first game. It was like one of his first games. He missed 4 or possibly 5 field goals in one
he
game.
did, yeah.
They lost the game. He missed 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Nico flipped the coin. He only had the 1 shot. He could have had more. He could have put himself in position more.
And they had the perfect, like he had the perfect shot too. Like who ran? I can't remember. Like the big fella from the Sharks. Like he had like the greatest run.
I think it was,
that like got them
it was
right.
Talakai, I believe.
Talakai,
It
like
was-
right
He goes,
in the middle
he runs
of the
20 meters.
20 meters,
Brilliant.
right in the middle of the post, right on the try line. Like he could not have set up a better position for a field goal too. Like I was like, shots are winning. I was like, damn it, my tips
Literally,
out.
that was it. The game's over. And then he shanks it, and it's... you're good. That was 100%. I remember that now.
Yeah. The other key takeaway from the game was Reed, Marnie and Nico's kissing moment, their little headbutting moment.
Yeah.
That when they put like romantic music over on social media is pretty funny.
Moving on. The Warriors defeat the Broncos 32-16. Yeah, look, if you went Broncos, you've got rocks in your head.
The Wires weren't going to lose this one after being embarrassed.
They would have been shot. They would have been shot by their own fans. They couldn't. They simply couldn't. If the Up the Wires movement is on its last legs, it would have died.
Yeah,
if they
it would have
lost.
died.
So 32-16 again. Fucking Tamario Martin.
Mm-hmm.
Kid's on. Kid is on. I mean, he is in incredible form. Crazy to think he's only in his 3rd year back from having like 4 years off for a fucking brain bleed.
Crazy.
Pretty, major injury. Him and CSG, I think they scored 3 tries. They set up all the other ones. Like, just unreal. Broncos, on the other hand, are absolutely... they are desperate for Reynolds back.
Oh, they're
They are
missing him.
desperate.
We talked about Eels missing Moses. Like the Broncos are desperate.
Oh,
for Reynolds.
it's getting clearer each week.
That's 4 losses in a row now, I think.
Yeah.
They're just not
And they make errors.
so many errors.
They're relying on Ezra Mann to pull something out of his ass
Yeah.
every week. It's second-year syndrome.
It really
Like,
is.
it really is.
So what happened to the Cowboys?
Yeah, and that's what's happening to the...
Knights, the Warriors,
they're the 2 teams, Knights, Warriors, and the Broncos.
and the Broncos.
So it's unfortunately happening to a lot of them this year. Look at the Eels. They went from a grand final to missing the 8.
Missing the 8, yeah. And now second last on the table.
Are they not last? No, they're still last.
No, Tigers dropped on for and against.
Can always trust that. Next game, the Knights and the Eels.
This is a good game.
If you went the Eels, what's in your head?
It's not rocks, it's belief.
Yeah, aka rocks.
It's a great game.
It wasn't. This was easily a game of the round. Like the first game, the Bulldogs Sharks game. All due respect, it was a stinker. It was a fucking boring game.
Yeah.
Until Golden Point. The Wires Broncos, good game, but again you were nervous because it was 16-0
yeah.
for the Warriors, and you're like,
They're gonna blow it.
this.
Yeah.
And before you know it,
They-
it's 16-10, and you're like, they're gonna blow this, and then all of a sudden it's 24-10, and you're like, okay, and then all of a sudden it's 24-16. So you can't fucking trust the Warriors with the lead.
No.
This game, this was back and forth. This was
This
easily
was
game
a
of the round.
great game.
Oh, it was a great game. This was edge of your seat stuff.
Yeah.
And then even like with 10 minutes ago,
The only thing that's
back and forth.
like this scoreline looks a little bit bigger than the game was. It's because Bradman scored those 2 runaway tries.
yeah, he got 2 fucking 80-minute efforts in the last 10 meters.
It's so funny. The first
10
one
minutes.
was like pure speed, and the second one was everybody was just gassed.
Oh, it was the
It
slowest breakaway I've ever
ever.
seen. Honest to God, it was like watching
It
a
was
front rower.
yeah,
out
it
there.
was.
You know, Jared Wallace would have been proud. That was funny. But yeah, the night for both of these teams, like, and it's crazy to think the atmosphere, the quality of this game. That was what 12th versus 17th.
And it was 100%.
It just like shows you this year, like Eels should not be
there.
bottom, and the Knights
Night shouldn't
be out of the 8.
I really think they can pick up when Ponga comes back, but I hope it also doesn't disrupt the momentum.
But
or anything.
that's the problem with the Knights. What momentum? They're up and down. Up
Exactly.
And down. They'll play good for 2 weeks, shit for 3. Good for 1, bad for 1.
I liked Wilt Price.
Oh yeah,
He was great. His swearing in the interview is pretty funny.
yeah, couldn't help himself. But no, he was different.
He
wasn't that. He was all right. I mean, if you didn't have him for a try scorer, you're an idiot.
Yeah.
Um.
I just thought he brought a different kind of energy.
Yeah, he brought. Yeah. He took a lot while to warm into it, but once he scored that try, like he warmed into it. You definitely keep him there, and you'll see once he gets confident,
Yeah.
he'll bring that X factor. But yeah, it was something different. And Hastings has been playing better. Like
It was just such a great game. Like there was ups and downs from both teams. I was like, oh, Eels are going to win here. And then like Knights came back.
and the Knights are actually playing Phoenix Crossland at 9.
Yeah.
All due respect to Jane Bradley, who now apparently has been shopped around, told he can leave the club. Like, I get he's your captain, but he's coming off fucking ACL and Achilles. And then you have your Phoenix, who's have at 9 last year, brings you on that magical run.
And then you don't play
Then
him.
you just go, hey, bro, you're going back to the bench for the guy who's not played football in 3 years?
Stupid.
Oh, and then what happens as soon as you change that? They're winning?
Mm-hmm.
Who the fuck would have thought? Who would have thought? But yeah, and then the Eels, again, like,
Yeah, they just
They
lost
shouldn't-
it at the end.
yeah.
They keep losing these games in the last 5 minutes. They just can't. And I kind of feel bad for, I kind of feel still bad for Moses and Gutho. I was because you can see what Moses can do when he's got a team around him. But it's like, and I was like, and they just try so hard. So does Dylan Brown. But they just can't find that consistency.
yeah, they're not playing 80 minutes.
No.
So
Making silly errors. And
silly errors, which was pretty much the entire
Melbourne.
next game. The Storm defeating the Raiders 16-6.
what a weird game.
That first 20 minutes, if it's any other night, if they play that game on Sunday, Storm are 40-0 in the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how much ball they had. It's like if New South Wales in game 2,
Couldn't score.
if they didn't bring sticky spray.
Yeah.
In 20 minutes, they had all the ball, all the calls. Every time they got to the 4th or 5th tackle, they just fucked it.
Fucked it. And
It was terrible.
And the Raiders' defense was like insane.
It was good, but again,
That's like for the Raiders. That's
but
what
it was
I mean.
also the Storm were just dropping it.
Yeah.
And there was just pedestrian attack. They'd play awesome until they get to 20 meters and then
it's
just forget
like-
how to play. Like
It was like they were the Broncos.
yeah. So before you knew it, it was 38 minutes and no one scored.
God, it was really weird.
Oh, but trust Josh King to get across the line. What the fuck? Seriously, 144 games or something. It's the first time he scored back to back. I mean,
It was a very weird game.
Weird
but like,
game.
I mean, but all those teams, you get up for the top teams because you kind of
well,
go.
you knew Raiders. You
Raiders-
knew it was going to be close.
I
You
know,
just knew.
but it's like even like the bottom, like you get up for the top teams because you're like, fuck it, I got nothing to lose, and then you see them have their best game against the top teams.
I think Storm was stuffed around a bit, not having Pappy and then
They're
having
missing.
Falola.
They have so much money in the box. It's not even funny.
Well, again,
So much money in the box.
it just shows the difference between him and Falongo.
Yeah,
That is a Clive Churchill, ready elite fullback versus a
He's
kid.
just not ready yet. He
Yeah.
will be.
Yeah, he has his moments. That's why he's good. This week, I believe he's 14. He's on the
Yeah.
bench. Pappy's one. It's like that shows you right there. Right now, if they're healthy, Pappy's the one. It's not a question.
Not yet. No.
And yeah, and again, we didn't have Harry Grant there. It was just Jerome Hughes. He's right up there for the
He is.
Dally.
Oh, he is.
has to.
He's
He's-
steering this. Without the Storm, I don't think they're a top place.
No.
Like, I mean, without Jerome, I don't think the Storm are in top
And in a
place.
game like that, we don't have any other spine member.
No.
It's just him.
It's just him. And he still did it.
He is.
Tyrone Richard has stepped up heaps. Though.
Oh yeah,
They're playing well together.
It's the next man up mentality.
Yeah.
Fucking, I gotta say, 2 weeks in a row. Oh, just keep Jack Arthur there.
Oh, he's doing
Fucking
so
love
well.
it. You see, he's big.
It's like your man
he's strong.
crush.
Yeah.
So moving on from Jesse Arthur's.
Oh, Arthur's is hot. Howard isn't hot, but he's all right. But again, 3 years ago, he gets confirmed on this $500,000 a year, 5-year deal. Cameron Smith wasn't on 5-year deals. This doesn't happen for Melbourne.
And he doesn't get played.
He doesn't get played for the first 2 or 3 years. But then there's no talk about it, and no one hears anything. And even Guru, like, no one is hearing anything about it. He's just not picked. And then last year, he debuts in that last game against the Broncos when it was pure reserve grade versus reserve grade. And he only, again, even that, he gets named to start, gets put in the bench, only plays like 50 minutes. So weird. This year, even still, all these injuries, he's not coming in. And no one can tell, is he a back rower? Is he a center? Is he a 13? Finally, 2 weeks in a row, back-to-back 80 minutes in the centers. Fucking killed it. And again, he's going to make mistakes. He's going to learn, but she's just strong.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are saying it, and it's a good comparison. He plays similar to Angus Crichton.
Oh, he does, yeah.
I think when he hits his peak,
he could be the next.
If he continues that,
yeah.
Because you see, like, he doesn't seem that big.
No.
They struggle to get him down. His post-contact meters are excellent. So I really want him in there. For the Raiders, again, like, they're doing way better than anyone would have thought they would do, especially after losing Fogarty. But, yeah. And you got highlighted the problem when you put your halfback at fullback.
Yeah, he scored that
great
try, but I was like, he's just the
he
catching.
Like 3, 4, 5 bombs, like,
just the catching.
That's not his fault, but that just happens. What it is their fault is the Dolphins going down 26-6.
Not great.
Again, at Wollongong, I get it. I don't understand it in this game. I stopped watching at halftime because it was fucking 2-6, and it wasn't until the 38th minute that someone scored. The real big takeaway from this game is, again, the Dragons, you have no idea, and the Dolphins should be kicked out of the comp.
Yeah. Yeah, Finton wants the Dolphins gone.
I just think that football is better with 16 teams. And I think we've learned that lesson. And I think we can move on.
Yeah.
I fucking hate the Dolphins. I fucking hate them. I cannot tip them. I possibly in 17 rounds have gotten them right, maybe 3 times. I don't know. I don't understand them. The big takeaway this game is they fucking lose JMK, the hooker. He's out for 10 weeks. So it's just, on the real, it's unfortunate because it's this season is shaping up eerily similar to last year.
Yeah.
Remember last year for like the first 13 rounds?
Like, you go, here are the Dolphins.
Top 4,
yeah.
top 8.
It's like, but they just have so many injuries.
They hit
like
midway and it was down.
Tom Flegler and Tom Gilbert out for them. It's tough.
But again, and they get all the way to 17. They're still in the top 8. They're top 4 side. And all of a sudden they've lost 4 of the last 5. And they're on that downward descent. So it's, yeah. Fuck the Dolphins, but fuck Penrith. They also go down 6-16 against the Cowboys. And again, it's like, honestly, at this point, Cowboys, if you are not playing Ruben and the boys in reserve grade, I don't know what's good for you.
They've gone 2 from 2.
2-0 against the Roosters and Penrith.
No.
The best attacking team, the best defensive team.
Without their
your origin players.
And they have so many origin players
and it's like,
too.
I understand that Penrith and Roosters have their origin players gone too, but at the same time, it's still Penrith and Roosters.
Yeah.
And also Roosters still have pure internationals in their side.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I again, you kind of knew where this was going when Penrith kicked out in the full on the first kickoff. So,
and oh my God, the commentators just absolutely blew smoke up Isaiah's ass. Like, we must be missing something.
Oh, we're missing
because
something.
they were like, oh, Isaiah's not on yet. And then he came on and they're like, it's all right. Penrith saved. Isaiah's on. He's going to steer this ship around.
And
I
remember saying it earlier.
He's a 6'5" front rower.
Yeah, I remember saying it earlier this year. Well, I get it now. I do. Why do you just run it straight? I still don't understand the ball playing thing. We are missing something. So Penrith, obviously you listen. Bring us down. Bring us to training. We'll tour the facilities. We'll watch tape with you. We'll watch a session. We'll speak to him. Because we're not seeing it.
Not seeing it. And like it might work in club. Great. I was like, but no, everything that works in club works in Origin, on rep footy.
But even in
And I was
club.
like, but even in club, like you've got enough ball playing people. Let him just do his
and you
job.
watch him when he came on, and like legitimately, he touches it first every single time.
Every single time. The halfback wasn't even in the
fucking hate
picture.
them. If I'm a halfback,
I'm
fucking
like,
hate
get
playing
out
with
of the
him.
way.
Oh my, we'd be
And
fighting.
he's like, because he's so big, it's like run, catch, turn,
It's
pass.
telegraphed,
I'm
it's
like,
slow.
oh my God.
Just when he runs it, excellent.
This. And the commentators literally, Isaiah Yo was on, so their ball movement was saved. I'm going, I must be missing
Scored 6
something.
points, so actually it wasn't safe. So we're missing something. Unfortunately, the Tigers are missing a whole lot more than that. They go down 40-6.
Poor
Poor
Abby
Dewey.
Dewey had second game syndrome. He was up against some big internationals and realized he'd been out of the game for a
This
while.
was a from penthouse to the shithouse sort of stuff.
So he did get better in the second half.
But again, it's not his fault.
No,
But he had
a reality check, a little bit.
the Tigers did, and he got fucked.
Yeah.
Second
I mean,
game
he was
back,
marking Joey Manu. So.
Yeah, Manu, Dom Young, Crichton. You know, they've got Sam Walker coming down that side.
Yeah.
Tedesco. His winger, with all due respect, I don't know who his name is.
No. Bullard just isn't making tackles or making stuff that he should be.
He's
as
definitely
a
been
fullback.
warming up, but they just got completely outclassed. They got
They're
and you
so
knew what was going to happen.
outclassed.
I'm upset that I tipped them.
But
That was foolish.
they really just did get outclassed.
From where to go? Like they got bullied.
And then they got sin bins that were a bit ridiculous.
Oh, I didn't see the Dewey one, but I bet it wasn't a hip drop. And
It was a hip drop, but I mean, if
But
they're
again,
going to sin
some
bin
are sin bins, some aren't.
it was a really soft hip drop. It was a hip drop action. He did swing his legs around. But then Appy Coruscant's
for going horizontal
not
when he doesn't go horizontal.
on tour. But then again, it's a sin bin RTS, no sin bin Origin, sin bin. I don't get it. It's got to be consistent.
And that's what makes the Origin one look so much worse, because the Origin one was the worst out of all
Well,
three.
all three
that
of
was
them.
the only one where the guy was actually getting dropped to his head. He doesn't hit his head, but that's the only one he's actually...
Yeah,
Going to head
so
first.
weird, so weird.
I don't
But
get
yeah,
it.
poor Tigers. Roosters played great. Commentators are also blowing a lot of smoke up Teddy's ass. Now I love Teddy, but he wasn't like he played great. I was like, he probably had one of his best games, but I was like, but he wasn't like he wasn't. Oh, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like they just said it was like the best thing they've ever seen in the universe. It wasn't that. It's like, are they trying to get him reselected for Origin 3? Is that what they're trying to do?
I don't know.
It was very odd. But
I don't know.
good game to end the round for me because I was coming off a 3 in a row losing streak of my tips.
And this actually made a 3 in a row losing streak for me.
It did. And we were going to go to this game, but then it was really raining up there.
And it was cursed. I bet.
And we decided not to, and Finton's really glad we didn't because it would have been a miserable car ride if we were coming home after he lost 40-6.
And see, that's the other thing. The flip side of that coin.
If you're there, I do not think there is a difference.
Up until Saturday night, we were going, and I was 5 for 5. All of a sudden, we're not going. I got 0 for 3. I don't know.
No,
there's something
you
in that.
decided we were going
There's something
after the
in that.
Dragons had already won. The Dragons had already
There's
won.
something in that, hun. There's something in that. Now,
Okay.
looking at the week ahead, we started with an absolute cracker. An absolute feast. Yeah. I'm talking about Parramatta taking on the Rabbitohs.
I don't
We're looking at the Cellar
know.
Dwellers. Crazy, I think this is Cellar Dweller. If we look at the team list, just quickly, you have a debut, Jake Tago, or Tago, not sure, on the wing
4.
for Sivo, because he's out.
Yeah.
This is for the Eels, I'm talking, of course. Sean Lane at 13. It honestly makes sense to me. It's interesting. It makes sense to me. Madison actually getting a start also makes sense. I believe Charlie Gumer, he's also on debut. Respect, brah. For the Rabbitohs, Trell's back at fullback. Interesting. Cam Murray in the back row, and they're keeping Keon at 13. That's
Interesting.
I get Keon's been good there, but you're taking the New South Wales 13.
He's just such a good 13.
And every time you put him at back row, he gets wasted. So I
This game, I'm really
agree with
not
that.
sure. I'm really, really unsure actually. Because I'm thinking this is a game that Eels can win, but the Rabbitohs have actually been, like, they've gone on a bit of a run.
They've gone on a run. Where's it held at?
I don't.
And it's an Eels home game. But
Eels Combank.
yeah, it's at Conway. I'm going Parramatta.
I think I might go Para. I've tipped Para here.
Yeah, Para too good.
Para. Next one,
game.
Sharkies and Titans. Really unsure, if I'm being completely honest.
Well,
Brimson is back.
Yeah, if we look at the team list, you've got Brimson back in 6. Keeney keeps the 1 for the Titans. Obviously, Campbell is out.
Yep.
David Feeder, he's playing for an Origin jersey, in my opinion. Well, my opinion, he's already got it, but anyway. We look at the Sharks. Unchanged. Interesting. Daniel Atkinson apparently named on the wing.
Yeah, comes in for Sion Katoa. Oh, no,
Katoa.
There's no Katoa. He's a great player.
He is, but Daniel Atkinson, if you remember, was the 5'8", so
Yes.
I'm not sure if he's ever played wing before.
No.
So I don't know if he'll stay there, but that's interesting.
Well, the Sharks are coming off 2 losses in a row. It's like coughs.
I don't know how to tip the Titans.
I really don't know.
I don't know how to tip the Titans.
I think I'm going Titans.
I'd initially...
I
I've gone Sharks, but the more I think about it, I want to change the Titans.
But I just don't know if the Sharks will lose 3 in a row. I don't know.
I'm going to make the change.
I'm going Titans.
I'm going Titans too.
All right.
But I don't... I think the Sharks are a shit side, and the Titans are a shit side. I don't know that one.
It's going to be interesting.
That's a fucking... don't think about that game too hard. The next game, you have the Broncos taking on Penrith at Suncorp. Looking at the Broncos, Reece Walsh is back, but who cares about that? Because Corey Oates
is on the wing.
is back on the wing. So if he's in, they win. Dean Murray in the centres. I'm not sure if he's ever played centre before.
Tony Staggs unavailable due to personal reasons. Interesting.
Yep, he's out. Then the rest of the side, I believe, is unchanged. If you look at the Penrith Panthers, they get their Origin players back. No Cleary. I believe he's next week.
I think next week, round 19.
Yeah, Isaiah Yeo at 13, so he'll probably have a man of the match.
I have to go Penrith. They just don't lose 2 in a row.
But Broncos aren't going to lose 5 in a row. They're so desperate.
I know they are so desperate, but I cannot go against Penrith. I'm going Penrith.
I'm going to back him in. I'm going to back him in.
Go for it.
I'm backing in the Broncos. Next game, the Bulldogs versus the Wars. Where's this game at?
It is at Accor.
At Accor. Looking at the list, Connor Tracy comes back in at fullback. I don't think there's any other changes to the side.
No.
Hayward at 13, Kurtman at 14. So on game day he'll swap that because he has a hard on for that for some reason. For the Wars, unchanged side. Mitch Barnett back in the front row from the... Okay, Jackson Ford's gone to the bench and Mitch Barnett's gone to the front row. Niakura into the starting second row with Catewell. I'm going the Bulldogs.
I'm going the Dogs.
I'm on the Bulldogs train.
They do well at Accor too.
They love Accor.
They love Accor. I don't know why.
Yeah, I'm just in for this. Next game, you've got the West Tigers taking on Melbourne.
Are you going to stick on your Tigers tips?
Nah, I'm not stupid. I don't tip against Melbourne. Is it at Leichhardt or Campbelltown?
Leichhardt.
Yeah, it's at Leichhardt. What time is this game?
5:30, Saturday afternoon.
And if this was Sunday afternoon, 4:00,
but they just got outclassed by the Roosters. You can just see them getting outclassed by the Storm.
Oh, they're not winning. And
Pappy's back.
Yeah, looking at the team list, Pappenhausen's back. Jack Howard is in the centres. Kane Bradley on the wing, very interesting. He is a back rower. All due respect, just looks like a complete dweeb. So I'm not sure if he'll stay there. That's interesting for me, but anyway, he certainly isn't like for Coates, that's for fucking sure.
No.
Still no Munster, I believe, hopefully.
I think around 20
yeah,
is
in a
due.
couple weeks, 2 weeks.
Maybe he'll be in the reserves next week.
Interesting. Falongo at 14. What I don't like is and I'm sure he'll change it. I love Christian Welsh on the bench. Keep him on the bench. Joe Chan on the bench. Keep him there.
Don't like Nelson.
Start Nelson. Last week was easily his best game.
Yeah.
Easily his best game. And if you're not going to start him, See, they started him at 13 and brought Liera on. I liked that. And I think that's what I would do.
Yeah.
You just start him on for 20 minutes or 25 minutes of just brutality.
Yeah.
Bring Liera on for the rest of the game. And then on his next stint, just bring Nelson into the front row. For the Tigers, unchanged. Dewey and
Justin
Appy.
Olam, though.
So, no, he's in the extended reserves, but he's not named.
Sorry.
So I'm not sure if he'll be in there or not. But yeah, look, it's
I think they're just going to get
Storm.
outclassed, Storm.
yeah, I could be 6-0, honestly. I think the 2 weeks is over.
Yeah.
Let's put it that way. Next game, the Cowboys take on the Eels.
Don't know.
At the Eagles at Townsville. Look at the team list. What you've got to worry about. The Origin players are back.
Go Manly.
So you have to worry about that if you are a Cowboys fan. For Manly, Turbo into the centres.
Back in the centres.
What is interesting is Kula goes to fullback and they get rid of Hopawate, which seems harsh. Because why wouldn't you have played Kula in the centres at fullback this whole time?
Yeah.
Where he could have had now 10 weeks
His
at fullback,
experience.
getting more reps there. But you've had him a centre the whole time.
So
and
Hapawadi's now on the bench.
he's at 14, yes.
Yeah.
So I get it, but it just seems like a strange
Nathan
decision.
Brown's in. Manly are winning. I'm going Manly.
Back fence Brown. I'm going Cowboys.
I'm going Manly.
I've tipped Cowboys.
This is a tough round. All the games are so hard.
But now also Cowboys are in the top 8.
I know. But
They're
I
gonna
think
get
Manly,
momentum.
Turbo back. I think that they need a win too. Manly have lost a few.
Turbo's back, but again, it'll take a while for them to get used to him in the centres. I think
I don't know. I'm going Manly at the moment. It is subject to change.
I'm
Though.
going Cowboys. Next game, you got the Roosters taking on the Dragons.
I've gone Roosters by 12.
Quick look at the team list. As we mentioned earlier, you've got Jennings and Tupanua in the centres.
Yeah.
That's interesting. But Tupanua held his own
Yeah,
last week.
he did play really well.
Connor Watson starting at 13 yet again.
Love it.
For the Dragons, Lomax is back in the only change.
I'm going Roosters.
I've gone Roosters. Roosters are fucking too red hot. And the Dragons, you just can't pick the Dragons.
I just can't pick it. I just think I can see the Dragons just making too many errors that
yeah.
the Roosters just capitalize off. And Sam Walker's kicking game has been excellent. And Angus Crichton. So I
Just any time they get momentum, you tip them, and then they
And
lose
then they
by 40
lose.
points.
But I do see it being a lot closer to the Anzac Day
Well, they're
game,
going to want
though.
revenge.
They're
for
going to
that.
want
What
revenge.
was that, 66 and 6 or
Yeah.
something?
They got pumped. So I still think the Roosters will win, though.
Yeah, I think Roosters. And then last game at Canberra, you've got the Raiders taking on the Knights. A quick look at the list. KO Weeks is actually at fullback.
Mm-hmm.
Raps back on the wing. You got Adam Cook staying at 7. The rest of the side, I believe, is unchanged. You look at Knights and Pong is
Woohoo! Pong is back.
Pong Daddy is back. Fletcher Sharp at 14.
I'm going Knights.
The rest of the side, Will Price and Hastings remain the 6 and 7.
Is that Canberra? I'm going Knights.
Unfortunately, Crossland is out with HIA, so Jaden Bradley is at 9. Again, if rumours he's getting shopped around, you're going to want a big game, bruh.
Yeah,
I'm going Knights.
I'm going Knights.
Raiders are dead in the water. I think they hate playing. They fucking every time
They
I've tipped them in
hate playing at
Canberra,
home.
they lose. Ponga back. This is the injection Knights need.
I'm going Knights.
Again, especially if he gets a call from Billy saying, "Hey, one good game,
Mm-hmm.
just quietly."
One good game.
So to reiterate, Eels, Rabbitohs,
Eels.
Sharks, Titans,
Titans.
Broncos, Panthers,
Panthers.
Broncos, Dogs, Wars,
Dogs.
Tigers, Storm, Cowboys,
Manly.
Cowboys, Roosters, Dragons,
Roosters.
and Raiders versus the Knights.
Knights.
So
do we have two different? Yeah, two
we got
different.
two differences.
So you have a chance to come two back.
Yeah, I'm storming home.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm going 8 for 8. So like, I'm lucky, bro.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm going 8 for 8. As always, if you enjoy the show, thanks. Leave a like, rate, review, do all that good stuff. Make sure you leave your questions in the Spotify episode descriptions. And as always, until next week.
Bye.
Hooroo.